All right. Hey there, friends. Jason from Trillium West here. I wanted to go over some of the April stats. I know I'm a little bit late here. It's been a busy start to May, but it's an important thing for us to know that the pace of this spring has been a much slower in its ramp up than what we tend to see around this time of year. So we've got supply continuing to be very, very low. We are seeing total number of transactions drop. Obviously, less homes on the market means less options available for buyers to look at, means fewer transactions happening. Now, buyers are starting to come back out in force now that we're seeing some more consistency in interest rates, which were sort of the chaotic element of this past year. So let's go through some of this stuff. We've got a 22% drop off compared to 2022 April. So that is a significant drop. Almost a quarter of the transactions that we did last year vanished. So a little bit slower in terms of options for buyers out there as expected. We are seeing an 18%. That puts us 18% below the average of the last 5 years. Keeping in mind here that the last 5 years have had wild swings in terms of all of this stuff. This would include everything that happened through the pandemic as well as the ramp up through 2019 and 2020. We're seeing the market off to a slower start, as Megan is identifying here. We are seeing sale prices are still down quite a bit. We're down about 12% year over year compared to April 2022. And with that, however, we are starting to see a bit of a climb back up month over month. The spring market is here. Buyers are coming out in more force, and whenever the supply is as low as it is, the prices are going to start creeping back up. We're seeing detached homes around $925 on an average, and townhouses at around $664. Now, one of the markets that's really been struggling in the Waterloo region is the apartment style condominiums. They have been pretty slow to pick back up after a significant drop off here year over year. We're down a little over 18% on those, and they've been very slow to pick back up. We've had a lot of supply hit the market in the condo space. Several pre-construction projects have finished, and now buyers are having their pick of the litter when it comes to that. But also because of that price drop year over year, we're seeing some buyers who kind of sat on the sidelines a little last year being able to jump into the townhouse and semi options instead of condos. But as prices continue to climb, condos are going to be coming up close behind. So if you're looking around for condos in Kitchener and Waterloo, Cambridge, you're probably going to want to start looking a bit more aggressively now because these prices are going to start jumping back up as everything else goes unaffordable again. We're going to scroll down a little bit more here. The other main one I wanted to bring up here is that the number of listings here is a decrease of 50% from last year. These are the new listings coming to market. This again speaks to the supply issues that we're running into here. 50% fewer listings hitting the market is a huge number. I'm pretty sure that we didn't lose 50% of our buyers as well. In fact, we've seen a lot of people who are waiting for stability in interest rates to jump into the market. So the number of buyers coming into the market is actually increasing a little bit where the listings are dropping. So going to be interesting to see where this all goes. The number of months of inventory is up a little bit here, but we're still very, very low at 1.3 months. That means that if no more listings hit the market, they would all be consumed in a little under a month and a half. Really notable stat there. It's still very, very low from what we want to see. Generally, you're shooting for 3 or 4 months of inventory for a truly balanced market, and we have not been there for years. The last thing I want to highlight here, the average number of days to sell is 16 compared to 9 back in 2022. To me, the biggest part of that, and when I see a significant jump like that, it comes down to conditions. We see a hesitancy in a longer days on market with, no, I shouldn't say hesitancy, a lag when we're dealing with conditions, because automatically that's going to add 3 to 5 days to the days on market right out of the gate. Last year, through most of the pandemic, this number of days on market before selling was very, very low and stayed very low because people were going in without conditions. So the many properties were selling in 2 or 3 days, bringing that average down. Now we had seen a few more conditions coming in. We're starting to see them get shaken off again in competition. But throughout April, we saw people taking a little bit more time to buy those properties, people holding a little more steady, holding their offers because they weren't getting 70 showings in 2 or 3 days and then getting lots of offers right away. We're seeing people hold their full 6-7 days holding offers, and then in some of those cases we're seeing a 3 to 5 day condition as well, bringing us up to around that 16-day mark. So back in the double digits on that for now. I'll be very curious to see how that plays out at the end of May. In general here, spring has been a slow start here. People are not listing homes in the way that they were in the past, and we're gonna have to see how that all plays out. Well, thanks for tuning in.